Are you asking the right questions when talking to sellers? Are you really? A lot of times, most people fail to have the confidence to speak to a seller because they don't know what to ask. By the end of this video, I will make sure you have all of the questions you need to be asking when talking to sellers. There are 4 things that you need to know in order for you to structure a deal. Now, there is not a specific order you should be asking these questions. However, if you ever feel a conversation getting stuck, revert back to these 4 and you will get the answers you need. Pillar number 1, you want to understand the motivation. Understanding the motivation is going to allow you to lock up a deal faster. Why is this important? Because you need to understand the why. Why is somebody selling? You want to dive into the pain and you want to be asking the right questions, such as, what has you selling? Why are you selling? Are they moving out of town? Are they getting divorced? Learn to identify what the problem is. Once you're able to understand what the problem is, then it's going to allow you to have clarity on what the seller is trying to accomplish. Second pillar is going to be the timeline. It is important for you to understand how soon is the seller trying to sell. Is it something that they are urgent about? Is it something that they have time to think about? Or is it something they're considering? Once you're able to identify the timeline that the seller is trying to sell in, then it allows you to understand how hard you need to push, or is this just a follow-up game for you? Now, depending on their motivation, you want to tie this into your timeline, because now you can leverage whatever their motivation is to allowing them to let them know that you are trying to make this happen today and why it's important for them to allow it to happen today. So remember, always create a sense of urgency behind your sellers. Now, the next pillar that you want to understand is the condition of the property. Once you're able to identify what kind of condition the property is, this is what you're going to leverage as a negotiation tactic. You want to ask questions like, how old is the roof? When was the last time that you got the plumbing inspected? When was the last time you upgraded the electrical box? Is there any major repairs that need to be done with the house? Another question that I personally like to ask is, if you had $20,000 today, how would you spend the money? The reason why you ask this question is they will then start telling you everything they would do into the house and put into the house, which is going to allow you to use as negotiation when it comes to you asking the 4th pillar. Don't be afraid to ask the important questions, such as certain condition about the property. The kitchen, when was the last time the restrooms were updated? Does it still have the green and pink tiles in the restroom, or is it an upgraded kitchen? Is it evap air? Is it refrigerated air? What kind of water heater is there? Is it a tankless water heater? What kind of water? Is there a water softener in there? These are important questions for you to be asking to help you come up with a better understanding of how much money needs to go into repairs. Now, the next important pillar for you to find out is going to be the price. Now, when asking this question, there are multiple ways for you to ask this. The way I like to ask this question is, what as a seller are you looking to net out? Now, when I ask this question, a seller might tell me a certain amount of a sales price that they are looking for. However, when I break down of how much they want to net out, this will then allow me to understand if they owe on the property or the property is paid off. So when I ask this question, then you could ask, how much do they owe? Once you find out how much they owe, this is going to allow you to identify, is this a subject to deal? Is this a seller finance deal? Or is this a cash deal? However, when you're trying to figure out the net out amount, you could then leverage the condition part of the 4 pillars, which is then going to allow you to say, is this after repairs or doing no repairs? Now, you want to make sure you get the condition from the seller, because now you could leverage that on the price, and letting the seller know is, What if I take the property as is? And when you're able to figure out the price, the timeline, the condition, and the motivation, this is going to allow you to structure the deal a lot easier. So when you get stuck in a conversation, don't hesitate to go back and say, why are you selling? How soon do you want to sell? What are you looking to net out? What kind of condition is the property in? What kind of repairs does the property need? Once you're able to gather all of these 4 questions, then it's going to allow you to be able to structure a deal and present an offer to a seller. Now, by knowing these 4 pillars, it's going to allow you to structure the deal to create a win-win situation, because now you know why the seller is selling and how you can structure a deal, whether it be through subject to, seller finance, cash deal, or a hybrid deal, or maybe even a lease option to purchase for the seller to be happy and for you to be able to buy a deal. Now, by you knowing this, it helps you build relationship with the seller. And you have to understand that the more relationship you are able to build with the seller, the more chances they are likely to work with you specifically and not somebody else. By knowing these 4 pillars, it's going to allow you to lock up more deals and allow you to focus on building relationships. If you want access to my 4-pillar script, click the link down in the description, and don't forget to smash the subscribe button, like, and leave a comment on this video.